Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. It is Tuesday, March 11th, 2014, and I'm Leanne McAdoo. Well, armed Texans are going to be taking to South by Southwest tomorrow at high noon. Why? Because we don't take too kindly to people attacking our civil liberties here in Texas, and especially not if those trendies over at South by Southwest are trying to push it at one of their panels. These are the same people that try to tell us we couldn't have our First Amendment right to pass out magazines last year. And now, this past weekend, key leaders of gun control groups led by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg held a panel discussion in which they bragged about their takeover of Facebook and their success at restricting pro-gun speech on this social media site. Now, in response to their anti-gun movement that's been promoted by South by Southwest, it's an internationally known music, interactive, and film festival, but it's now apparently hosting political events. Well, the Austin chapter of Come and Take It Texas will hold an open carry march through the streets of South by Southwest. It's going to be starting from the corner of 12th and San Jacinto. Due to very heavy traffic, road closures for South by Southwest, please plan on arriving early. Give yourself ample time to reach the event. The coordinator there is going to have some safety rules and regulations. Myself and Jakari Jackson, we will be there marching live for the Alex Jones Show, reporting with the Come and Take It Texas group and everyone else that's going to join us out there. High noon. Be sure to get there early. Mainly, we're going to be out there pushing back against this attack on the Second Amendment, but also just to show people, the brainwashed masses that are out there, that guns do not equate to violence. And that's really the group that we're trying to show we're the good guys. We're the ones that are marching out here for your rights. Don't be brainwashed by the matrix immersed trendies there at South by Southwest. And Holder has made no bones about it. That is exactly their plan, to brainwash the masses into making guns obsolete.
Part of every day, some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Brainwashing the public. That is exactly what they're trying to do. Just be repetitive with this brainwashing and push their agenda. And one of the ways they're going to be doing this is via your doctor. You know, the doctor that you couldn't keep, maybe the new one that Obamacare has just put into your life. Well, now, so much for patient-doctor confidentiality. Dr. Vivek Murthy, who is, of course, Obama's pick to be America's next Surgeon General. He is a rabid anti-Second Amendment ideologue who believes firearms ownership is a public health issue. Now, Murthy is the president and co-founder of Doctors for America, which is an organization that has pushed for stronger gun laws. Now, according to this organization, firearms are a plague threatening society, and it calls for doctors to interrogate patients, including minors, about guns in the home. If the patient admits a family member exercises his or her constitutional right to own firearms, the organization wants to counsel them appropriately about safety measures. And I am just curious what that counseling is going to equate to. Now, during hearings in February before the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, Senator Lamar Alexander grilled Dr. Murthy on his public comments regarding firearms. He said, "Americans have a First Amendment right to advocate the Second Amendment, and the Second Amendment is not a special interest group. It's a part of our Constitution. If your goal is to make guns the bully pulpit of your advocacy in this Surgeon General's office, that would concern me." And that concerns me also, and it should concern all of you. And that's why we want to make sure that you join us tomorrow, exercise your First Amendment for the Second Amendment. It is high time that these people who take an oath to uphold the Constitution learn what it means, especially the shall not be infringed portion of the Second Amendment, and really learn why these amendments are in the Constitution in the first place. But this year, South by Southwest has not only been pushing political ideology, they've also really been pushing the future of technology, just really in your face, Google glasses everywhere, virtual reality displays. There are wearable clothing that are showing you how neat it'll be someday when your tracksuit reminds you when to eat and drink and don't eat that sandwich because you're actually obese. I actually ran into a roving robot girl named Brianna today as well. We'll have that report coming up tomorrow. But what we also saw was the future of drone warfare. This time it's an Austin-based tech firm. They took South by Southwest by surprise this past weekend by unveiling what it believes is the future of security technology, an unmanned aerial vehicle that's capable of deploying taser nodes and dishing out 80,000 electrifying volts. It's being billed as personal security, and it fires on human targets that are deemed threats. Now, the test run went off without a hitch. They made a poor guinea pig intern take this taser hit. He turned to run away from the drone only to collapse onto a collection of mats after he was stung with 80 kilowatts of intense voltage. Now, in a press release, the Chaotic Moons Studios, who has created this drone, says, the drone can be deployed when an alarm is triggered. It can find a subject and send live video to the owner's phone and ask you if you want to authorize the subject or detain them. If you detain them, it drops into fully autonomous mode to detain them until police arrive, and if need be, stunning them with 80,000 volts of electricity to render them incapacitated. So while they are selling this as a novel security gadget, in reality, it is just bringing forward these autonomous drones that are going to be weaponized and making these decisions for themselves, deeming something a threat or not. And they will be fully devoid of accountability. We've already seen the mistakes that drones can make when men are behind them controlling them and they accidentally demolish a wedding party in Pakistan or something. So now we have people with their apps on their phones, which will be controlling drones with tasers connected to them. But I guarantee you and I won't be allowed to have those. It'll only be people like Bloomberg, who he's only allowed to have the guns because he's very, very, very rich and important. Meanwhile, there are real terrorists out there who aren't trying to stop these weaponized drones from coming into play. No, they are trying to ban you and I from using the word bossy. That's right. There's a new campaign that rather than just encourage women to be leaders, they are nanny stating it by banning the word bossy. Hashtag ban bossy. Now, I will be the first to say I am a self-made woman. I am all for empowering women to be leaders, be go-getters. But this is a very 1984-esque way of going about it. By banning the word bossy, it's just reinforcing the notion that this oppression comes from within the culture and within language and not by the state and by the elites. They are now absolving the state from any wrongdoing, from being the source of this oppression. And as Paul Joseph Watson points out in this article, they use feminism to crush freedom and free speech in the name of protecting women's rights. But these campaigns are never grassroots. They're backed by transnational corporations and banks. GM, Google, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Booz Allen Hamilton, oil companies like Chevron, and of course Sony, who pushes a vast majority of music with derogatory themes for women. So of course that's a great place we could start. And of course at the head of these transnational companies, how many women do they have leading these companies exactly? I mean, that's the point. If you want to really help women become leaders, start there. It's not by banning words. Now, feminism, the way they are using it is a top-down tool for the establishment to promote cultural Marxism, to create thought criminals, and to police language. So don't be fooled by the latest campaign. Find out, follow the money, as they say, and that's who's backing this campaign.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding, making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
The brainwashing media machine has been turned up on high, and it's time for humanity to double down on the true people's media and strike back against the tyrants that are destroying our civilization with their lies and fraud. We are the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the info war. It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.